Deconstructing Introductions, the Advanced Organizer. This video is part 7 of the Deconstructing Introduction series, a series intended to train you in the art of crafting the 7 elements of an introduction for research writing. So what is an advanced organizer? The advanced organizer is a brief description of how the writer intends to argue the thesis, a sentence that outlines the reasons supporting the thesis statement. Since an introduction frames the essay by informing and orienting readers to the context of, the motivation for, and the focus of the writer's argument, the advanced organizer serves an important introductory function. The advanced organizer typically orients readers to the argumentative structure or development of the essay, giving readers a map of what to expect and a promissory note of what the writer will accomplish. The advanced organizer provides clarity, focus, and a sense of purpose that benefits both the reader and writer. Think of the introduction to a nonfiction book. Typically, the authors will summarize their lines of argument or plan for the chapters near the end of their introduction. That summary is the advanced organizer for the book. It helps readers know what to expect, what the argument is and is not, and how the reasoning or approach differs from other related books. The advanced organizer in research essays serves much of the same purpose. When framing an advanced organizer for a research essay, it is important to remember, as with the other elements of the introduction, to keep the advanced organizer clear and concise. The clarity and the effectiveness of the advanced organizer often rely on its proximity to the thesis. Writers typically locate the advanced organizer immediately after the thesis statement as a separate sentence or as a because clause or a list following a colon. As a separate sentence. Consider this example. However, x corrects the imbalances of y in such and such a way. This corrective function of x is evidenced by reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3. As a because clause, note this example. However, x corrects the imbalances of y in such and such a way because reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3. As a list following a colon, consider this alternative. However, x corrects the imbalances of y in such and such a way for 3 reasons. Reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3. All 3 options are viable alternatives because they are clear, concise, and syntactically linked to the thesis. When writing an essay that involves many complex lines of reasoning, look for ways to group those lines of reasoning in and for the purposes of your advanced organizer. Remember, the goal is to summarize the reasons supporting your thesis, to orient your reader, not to provide a detailed description of each reason as you might do in a nonfiction book or dissertation. Consider this example. Suppose I'm writing on how emotions affect writing center consultations. Suppose my lines of argument include the student and the tutor's nerves preceding the sessions, the emotional baggage of their personal lives, the drain of interpersonal communication, the psychological pressures of teaching and coaching, the psychological pressures of being a peer learner, the positive or negative emotions felt in the session, the emotional intelligence required to adapt responses to the student's needs, the cultural constraints of concealing visceral emotional responses, the biblical commands concerning emotional empathy, and the at times conflicting range of emotions felt by both the writer and the student at the end of the session and as the student leaves. This would be a lot to cram into a single list or a single sentence. However, if I could identify some groupings, then I could potentially summarize these reasons briefly, yet adequately to orient my readers to my argument. For instance, I might split my reasons into 3 groupings: pre-session, in-session, and post-session, finding an effective way to broadly summarize my dozen reasons under 3 broad groupings. Or, I might group them as internal and external, the inner experience of an emotion and the outer act of expressing or concealing the emotion. Or, I might group them by the one who emotes, that is, the network of reasons related to the tutor and the network of reasons related to the student. Regardless of what groupings I choose, I should focus on clarity and concision. For longer projects, it may be best to group items in the advanced organizer according to the main headings in your essay, rather than mentioning the reason associated with every subheading. As with all the other elements of the introduction, the audience determines what to include or exclude. So consider what information your audience needs in the advanced organizer to understand the argumentative structure or development of your essay. Thank you for watching this video on crafting an advanced organizer. This video marks the end of the 7-part Deconstructing Introduction series. If you missed the earlier videos in this series, please feel free to go back and watch the series overview, as well as the corresponding video for each element of an introduction. If you are looking for other resources on writing, editing, citing, or researching, Check out the videos on our YouTube channel at WC SE. Thank you, and keep writing.